Welcome back to my YouTube channel, The World We Live In with Keith E. Richards. The subject I want to talk about today is how we don't look out for each other anymore. Everyone is divided between Republican, Democrat, vaccine, no vaccine. We don't see each other as people anymore because of our demographics, our politics, our race, our ideology. It's even worse when people are offended by everything that they see. Cancel culture and the demographics of anything that is remotely a stereotype, like Dr. Seuss. If you want to focus on stereotypes, he'll try to cancel Mario next because they're so offended. Because he's a quote-unquote Italian stereotype from Japan. I try every day, to inform people what they probably already know or should know, but at the very least, if they learn something that's going on that because they weren't aware, or at the very least can have a voice that sympathizes with their thoughts. And right now, we are more divided than we ever been. Everybody's at each other's throats. Everybody's offended by everything. Everybody's divided by everything. It's getting ridiculous. We can't even seem to collaborate on anything. What if a situation happens where a famine happens? People won't share because they hoard all their food, all their things in their storage spaces, and then it'll go to waste. We need to look out for each other more. We do. Everyone, every time, is so offended by the difference of viewpoints. They see them as the enemy. My brothers and sisters, we are not the enemy. We are all human beings. We are one race to human beings. And we need to stop hating each other, being divisive against each other, both with the left and the right, with the left with the cancel culture, with the right with their racism and xenophobia, and calling the migrant at the situation a crisis. You know what's a crisis? The cartels basically owning the Mexican government. Cocaine flooding into Cuba, rooting the entire culture of Cuba. Bandits and rows of bandits going in Nicaragua and El Salvador and all these Central American countries. Haiti, Jamaica, all these cold South and North and Africa being rampaged by dictatorships and would-be kings. The situation in Asia with the Communist Party constantly rampant on their own people. That's a crisis. You complain about Hispanics, Mexicans, Salvadorians, and Cubans, and all the other Central American people fleeing to the United States border. Because, what? They're different skin color? They're different ethnicity? We run on a system that is based on dictative laws. Animals don't need a passport or an ID or a social security number to travel their country. Yet to get in the Greyhound and get on a plane, you need an ID. You need an ID for everything. One way to divide the people is through currency. Who's richest? Who's poorest? What social class status? What clothes they wear? What kind of haircut they wear? What kind of voice they have? I have a whiny voice. I have a shit-ass haircut. And I'm not a bad person for it. I'm just trying to help people in need. A little bit at a time. A little bit. Eventually, one day, this world's going to end. When it does, or when you're on your deathbed at long last, I hope people who didn't care about their neighbor, didn't care for the other people around them, will be happy when they look around and see their deathbed alone minus the nurses and their hoard of cash and gold. They'll be happy because they didn't care for their people. We need to start caring about each other. This world is falling apart. We need to look out for one another. We need to start caring. Do what you can, at the very least, for your own people. Check up on your friends. Text them, call them. Give some more. Even emotional support is still a form of caring. It's not much. It's not. Look out for your people. Because eventually, we're going to look back on everything. We're going to have regrets of all those who needed us when we weren't there. Because we're selfish and self-centered. At the same time, we can't keep taking you. There are people in this world who want to use kindness against us at the same time as we are kind. Learn to differentiate a user from a friend. There's nothing wrong with denying a user, but look out for your friends. Look at all the times they've been there for you or not. If they haven't been, you know who your friends are. A friendship is a two-way street. I'm not saying to give out your entire life savings. I'm not saying to give a helping hand to someone who's a gold digger who did nothing but use and abuse you. I'm saying to look out for the people who looked out for you. That's all. I can fully understand the people who don't want to help anyone who is just trying to sponge off them like a lot of homeless bums who don't do anything for themselves. I get that. But there's a difference between helping a homeless bum with $1 and saying, hey, do you have anything you could spare so I can get food? I'm going to go out, if I have the cash, buy him a burger. If he doesn't want it, then he doesn't get it. And that's just how it is. People will use and abuse, but there are people who are good, honest, good people who genuinely care about their communities, who just are falling on hard times. Look out for people who care about you. Sooner or later, shit's gonna hit the fan. Inflation is always so high. Check up on your friends. Check up on your family. Make sure they're doing okay. Look out for the ones you love.